This is the United Kingdom, where free speech is illegal.
If you're a keyboard warrior, or if you incite violence,
Hate speech is a crime. What are you being persecuted for right now?
Telling the truth and showing the public the truth of journalism. Journalism's dead.
Anti-social behavior can put you in jail.
Arresting you. This is in relation to some
I saw that one.
you've made on a Facebook page.
We do have
Facebook
dedicated
page.
police officers who are scouring social media. Their job is to look for this material.
Hey, you may disagree with Tommy, but come on, freedom of speech.
He's making comments on an open forum, which is social media, which is deemed to be offensive.
They don't believe it. They don't believe it. You know what freedom of speech start with them?
I've been asked to come speak to you to make you aware that your comments are visible online.
When you speak to yes. It's about comments which have been made on social media.
So there's a report about some beliefs being expressed.
Many believe these laws operate within a double standard known as two-tiered policing, where certain protected groups don't get punished while others do.
Oh, hello?
Now I've come here because of them babies who's died, and I'm being arrested.
there's no two-tier
It just
policing.
pushed her over.
There is policing without fear or favour.
Fascist scum.
Why do I have to turn off? Where's my freedom of speech? Recently, this 61-year-old man,
Yeah.
Peter Lynch, was convicted of violent disorder after shouting scum and child killers at police and holding this sign.
I pray for my children. I pray.
He was sentenced to jail
You
for
better
2
get out
years
their
and 8
face.
months and killed himself in prison out of fear of Islamist prison gangs killing anyone associated with the term far right.
That man will never have another Christmas for what? For saying he's worried about our f***ing country. Are you mad?
And these are thousands of Brits
that's
protesting the
nuts.
British government for two-tiered policing, mass migration, the death of free speech, the Islamization of England, and the unfair weaponization of the legal system to imprison journalists and activists like... charged with terrorism for refusing to
Tommy
give the police the
Robinson.
password to his phone. In fact, you might have recently heard the name Tommy Robinson after he was blamed by the media and the British government, claiming he caused riots in Southport for video rants like these posted on Twitter.
Children being butchered and murdered. Stop the f***ing boats. They're endangering the safety of our families.
After a 17-year-old went on a mass stabbing spree, killing 3 little girls in a dance studio. The media told the British public that the stabber
Is 17, British, born in Wales and of Rwandan heritage.
The suspect has no known links to Islam.
and in turn blamed Tommy for the rioting that ensued.
So do you denounce Tommy Robinson? Do you denounce him for inciting the rioting by telling people it was a Muslim illegal migrant?
Denounce what?
Telling people he was an illegal Muslim?
Turns out, just a few days ago, they found an Al-Qaeda training manual in his computer teaching him how to build a ricin bomb.
You've brought this war on our shores.
Ricin?
You've brought danger
Hello?
on our shores. They're justified in their anger. Yes, there's a better way to do it, but they don't see no better way.
Now, Tommy has as many supporters as he does haters, with entire counter-protests formed against him and his supporters.
You
Let's see his up.
He does haters, with entire counter-protests formed against him and his supporters.
You are on racist!
F off Nazis. And with nearly the entire British mainstream media labeling them far-right, Islamophobic, racist, and fascist, how did England become this divided? And is Tommy Robinson a far-right, Islamophobic racist? Or is he a brave journalist speaking up on real issues the mainstream media refuses to acknowledge?
This issue is political Islam. It's political Islam that's spreading across this country. 1,000 years of culture and history is nearly gone. You're a young English man. You should be proud of who you are. Not searching for this.
That would kill my stream.
I embrace you to leave Islam. Come back.
Would actually kill
Come
the
back,
stream.
man. Our entire next generation don't know who they are. They've been beaten down so much, abused so much,
kill it?
made to feel ashamed of who they are.
Do you think the UK
So
ends
no,
the Civil
no,
War?
no.
Inevitably, the whole of Europe will end in civil war.
But to understand the state of England today, we'll have to go back in time 15 years ago to Tommy's hometown of Luton, where he started the infamous English Defence League.
English Defense League.
Pakistani Muslim town. The town is
No,
dominated.
today's like
controlled by Pakistani drug gangs. White
Grim Reaper. Why does that sound familiar?
For every town and city across the UK.
Why did you end up
Are
founding?
you that
what was the
VTuber?
impetus? What was the catalyst?
I'd grown up and watched the change in the town.
butt?
I'd watched the demographic replacement, and I'd seen the attack
Or am I
on freedom.
lost?
I'd seen the two-tier policing, the two-tier justice, the two-tier everything. Where one community, the Islamic community, are treated with kid gloves, and everyone else was treated with iron fists.
Today's
there
like
were prostitution,
Sunday.
Drug gangs prostituting young, white, English, or black girls.
Day after
and
yesterday.
the
Let's
police
go.
were doing nothing.
More specifically,
I mean,
Tommy's
sure.
referring to the now infamous grooming
Sunday.
gangs, where thousands of non-Muslim girls across England every year are targeted on the basis of being white, referred to as easy meat by mostly Pakistani men who would get them hooked onto drugs and then sex traffic them. Tommy's cousin was a victim of these gangs. The British police didn't do anything despite knowing about the rapes, and the media would not acknowledge or report on the story out of fear that they would be called racist or Islamophobic. Tommy was, in essence, the first person to vocally speak up against these gangs.
Do you know only 15-year-old girls that you know that you've grown up with that have been raped or pimped? You don't. So I don't expect you to understand the issues.
These are all personal issues of yours.
Personal issues in towns and cities like mine, and they're not happening with the Sikh community, they're not happening with the Jewish community.
And indeed, they're not happening with most Muslims.
No, they're happening within the Islamic community. That's what I'm saying, that it's an Islamic problem. And when I'm just a simple person, so I'm just a normal person, but when I'm looking at, I have to look for where this hatred is coming from. And talking about these girls like they're statistics, they're not statistics. These girls are, well, whose daughters do you think these are? Whose sisters? They're ours. In working class towns and communities, for 20 years, our councillors and the leaders from the Islamic community have conspired with the police to not deal with Muslim pimping gangs. They've allowed systematic rape of our youth by the fact of being scared to be called a racist.
The police are literally scared of the Islamic community. I'd seen the dominance. I'd seen kids I go to school
That
with,
host
kids I
does
grew up
not
with,
want him
converted
to
Islam,
talk.
becoming part
Kept
of
trying to
jihadist
cut him
gangs.
off.
2013, I looked at the statistics by 2070, and I looked at all the demographical change. The white and black community were going to increase by 1.3 to 1.4%. Yeah, the Bangladeshi and Pakistani community by 70 to 80%. So that is how quick the whole town changed. Just whack. What's happened? So where you might be in a community where you think there's not that many Muslims, but they've all got 5 or 6 kids. So go to the local school in that community. So it might be a majority non-Muslim community, but when you go to the lowest school, it's all Muslims.
Okay.
Yeah? It's the birth rate of the Muslim community, which is a ticking time bomb for Europe.
Why are you concerned with the Muslim community and its growth?
Because of the jihad, the non-integration, the segregation, the hostility, the violence, the grooming, the rapes, the prostitution, the heroin, all of these problems, female genital mutilation. There's so many problems that come out of that community which the government just don't deal with. It's a no-go zone for non-Muslims, yeah? It's a whole entire massive area. And it started off when I was little as a little area. Now it's just massive. This town will never be English again. Say that out loud. All the history of Luton Town, this is now an Islamic town.
And if this were a Sikh town, would you have the same problem?
I wouldn't have a problem, no.
Tell me why.
No, because the Sikh community integrate, assimilate, and they work very hard. There's no dominating gangs. They're not attacking our culture. In fact, they integrate and they become British. And unfortunately, that's not every Muslim, of course. Look, I'm not saying every Muslim is a problem, but I'm saying per se, the Islamic community, there's no integration, assimilation. There's big problems. Straight on, bro. Just pull up straight on that road, and we'll get out of the car there, yeah? On the double yellows.
Okay. And is Luton ruled by Sharia law right now?
The Islamic community, the Islamic areas, yeah. That's their areas ruled by Sharia law.
Are we at risk coming in here with you, given who you are?
We are at risk, but it's 10:30 in the morning, and a lot of them don't get out of bed.
So we made our way into Luton, Tommy's hometown, and
A lot of
he's
them don't
public
get out of
enemy
bed.
number 1.
What are you trying to say?
Oh, he better chill.
There's many times I've been attacked in this town centre. Many times I've come under violent confrontation in this town centre. But this is my town centre. You see what these are? You obviously understand what these are.
What are these?
These are diversity barriers.
These?
Well, they're to stop terrorist attacks.
It's real?
I'm not joking. They're diversity barriers. This will go straight back up now, and these are to stop cars coming through and mowing everyone down. Okay. And we have these in every town centre. You know, our Christmas markets now are literally just entire things like this. Fortified to get anywhere near the Christmas market because they expect cars to come flying into them. So as
I feel like everybody should have those.
Okay, so are you Islamophobic?
There's no such thing as Islamophobia. Phobia is an irrational fear. Sure. All the things I talk about. When you pick up the Quran, there's 100 verses in the Quran which incite violence against non-Muslims. There's 4 verses in the Quran that say that Muslims can take non-Muslim women as sexual slaves. Actually, one of those verses say they're blameless. Now, when we see the statistics that we have in the UK, Muslims make up 5% of the UK population. They're responsible for 90% of the convictions of groups of men that young kids. Why? Why isn't it Sikhs? Why aren't the Jews doing that? Why aren't the Hindus doing that? Why is it the Islamic community? 30% of the men convicted of gang rape of children are called Mohammed. Islam promotes it.
You think Islam promotes it or extremist Islam?
Mohammed. Was Mohammed an extremist? Mohammed beheaded 600 people in one day. Mohammed women. Mohammed married a 6-year-old when she was 9. When people say about extremism or Islam, there is only Islam. There's not extremist Islam, moderate Islam, there's Islam.
Can you explain the difference between cultural Islam and religious Islam?
Many Muslims are just born with a Muslim identity and they feel like they have to defend it, yeah?
Okay.
But even when you're talking about it, they don't know what they're defending. Sure. They don't know everything about the life of Muhammad. They don't know he murdered, he pillaged. They don't know the life of Muhammad. But they're born Muslims. So I'd say they're cultural Muslims. But then you have the real religious fanaticisms, the fanatics, which this town is full of.
Or how did this town become the terrorist capital of Europe?
Well, because we allowed Al-Mujahideen, in fact, our government foreign policy was to actually, when the Soviet war was going on, when it suited us to fund radical Islam with the Taliban and groups like this in Afghanistan, we gave home to many of these groups. So this group in this town centre, Al-Mujahideen, who are a prescribed terrorist organisation, their head office was here in my town. There's 60% of the Muslims in jail for terrorism, ex-members of that group. Their head office was in this town centre.
One day to eradicate Islamic law from Britain, with the generations to come from the rest of the world, to fulfill the prophecy of the Prophet that the whole of the world will one day be under the authority of the Muslims.
In 2004, I started my first demonstration against them. In 2004, called Ban the Loot and Taliban.
Chill, you just started recording
by Islamic gangs for trying to talk out. And all I was trying to highlight is these are jihadists, these are terrorists. And literally, where we're walking now, you see there's a bakery here called Don Miller's Bakery. They used to have a stall set up every Saturday recruiting for terrorism. If you want to know how powerful the word racist is, if you want to know how the power of political correctness, our entire police forces across the country were paralysed with fear to allow the rape of a generation of our daughters. 1,000 girls in Telford, 1,400 children in Rotherham. The police were fully aware that the children were being prostituted, ganged and kidnapped by Muslim gangs, and the reason they didn't act, which has come out in government studies, because they were fearful of being called racist. An 18-year-old migrant who come on a boat 6 months ago murdered a 27-year-old English woman who was working in the hotel that he was being housed in. So in hotels, there's a hotel here, there's a hotel there. Yeah, we can go to the hotels if you want after this, yeah? So in these hotels, they have housed so when migrants come into our country, they get put straight in these hotels. We pay for them. And just yesterday, an 18-year-old migrant murdered a 27-year-old English woman working in the hotel. And 2 days before that, an Afghani put in a military base who we've brought here to give freedom from Afghanistan, he sexually raped a 16-year-old.
So was there a public conversation at this point, or did you start that? Did you pioneer the conversation discussing this?
No one would discuss it. Everyone's too scared to discuss it, because when you try and discuss it, you just get attacked violently.
Were you violently attacked the moment you started talking about it?
Instantly. I've had 12 government Osman warnings. There's 6 Muslims right now in jail for 30 years. They got caught with guns, suicide bombs, everything on the way to murder us. They got there 2 hours late. They were arrested then in their car, where they found their suicide vests, etc. I've been under constant attack, constant death threat, life in danger. Even just 6 weeks ago, my mum and dad had to be relocated for threats to murder them.
So why make this your cause? Why were you willing to take on the threat here? Why is this so important to you? Why are you so concerned?
This is my country. It's our country. Let's stop pretending that we have welcomed guests into our nation, have now overstayed their welcome. They're changing this country. They're not here to integrate. They're here to dominate. And I know you've had immigration. When I hear about Americans and they're moaning about Hispanic immigration, I think you've got no idea, lads. You've got absolutely no idea. You have just opened your borders to 8 million migrants from Somalia, Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan. You're going to see what's coming.
We're walking right now. Are you concerned? Are you nervous?
Yeah, they'll be on the phones, 100%.
What do you mean?
Any one of them that would have seen us will be straight on their phones.
Doing what?
Phoning more Muslims.
For what?
To come and get us.
Come and get us? What do you mean?
To come and violently attack us.
For what, having a conversation?
But, mate, you're not allowed to talk about Islam.
Tell me about the concerns you have regarding freedom of speech here in the UK, the loss of it.
There is no freedom of speech.
Tyler.
Stop pretending it. There is no freedom of speech. We live in a post-free speech era. But the problem is the goalposts keep changing. So some people celebrated when it was me losing my freedom of speech, yeah? When they were censoring me, or because I speak about Islam, but then they started censoring doctors, nurses, yeah, scientists. We're talking about COVID, we're talking about everything. So here's the Discover Islam Centre. So they're not going to be happy with...
Explain the significance of Discover Islam.
It's a charity shop that was opened in order to convert the town to Islam. Hey, bro.
Hello.
And they're going in?
All right, man, how are you?
How you doing?
The purpose of this shop is to convert the town to Islam. Okay. Right? That's right?
It's for dawah, yeah.
To convert to
dawah. Not to convert, to invite.
But before Tommy debates Islam with a recent convert, I want to tell you about the sponsor of this video. In an age of media misinformation and media bias, it's tough to know what's fake news and what's real news. But luckily, the sponsor of this video, Straight Arrow News, can help you find facts. Straight Arrow News. Now back to Discover Islam. Okay.
And the man who opened this centre, the first manager was called Yusuf Bonner, and he said he actually had to resign because I exposed who he was before they opened the shop. This was funded by Ira, Abdul Rahim Green, so the people behind this centre are radicals who believe in punishment for adultery, all these sorts of things.
What are your thoughts on that?
No, it's not true.
That is 100% true. Was you when this centre opened and the council opened it? I looked into everyone behind it and I'd done an expose, and the manager had to resign before the day it opened.
Well, I don't know too much. I've only been working here like a few months, to be fair.
Okay. When did you convert, bro?
Me, a year ago.
A year ago?
Yeah.
How do you like Islam thus far?
It's peace. It's peaceful. Like, it makes me feel like I can show the world the true me. And it's the true religion, really.
Can we get the Quran? Have you got the Quran? Can I touch it?
Yeah, of course you can.
Sure, yeah?
Why can't you touch it?
Of course you can touch it.
Because I'm not clean.
I see.
If you can look at verse 65. So this, as for such of your women as despair of menstruation, if you're in doubt, their period of waiting shall be 3 months, along with those who have it not. And for those with child, their period shall be till they bring out their burden. And whoever, what's that mean?
Me, I don't know. Like I said, I've only been
I see grilling this guy. He just started.
Myself.
I don't want to put you doing it. Okay, so if you're new, I don't want. I'm not.
Hello,
here
futureless.
Sorry, I guess
my problem? So not to put you in an awkward position, yeah. Because my problem is that verse talks about
watching
divorcing prepubescent children. That's what that verse is about. Yeah. So
England, where free speech is illegal.
That we do not know fully.
I guess you could say it's like journalism, I guess.
Sahih Muslim, the two of the leading world hadiths.
Journalists.
So how old was Muhammad then when he married Aisha? How old was Aisha?
Aisha was probably about between 9 and 11, I would say.
UK.
She was 6. So Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim are two of the most recognised. The problem is, it's great if you think she was older. That's still a bit strange at 9-11. But it's great if you think she was a lot older.
Sure, you want to play a song? I'll play it.
There's 5 leading authentic hadiths, and they state that she was 6 years old, and he raped her when she was 9. They'll say marriage.
What song?
Would you date an 11-year-old?
No, obviously not.
So do you believe Muhammad was perfect?
Yeah.
But Muhammad, you just said married an 11-year-old.
Because things were different back those days, they weren't.
So he wasn't perfect in this modern time.
But if you look back in the history, like even kings of England, they married younger.
Richard Lionheart had an 11-year-old wife.
Yeah.
But we don't think Richard Lionheart's perfect. We don't want to build this whole country based on what Richard Lionheart lived his life as. Whereas you want this country to be
SoundCloud.
Yeah?
Me, like I said, I'm still new in it. I'm still new to Islam, so.
My point was that this shop has been opened by my council to convert everyone to Islam. And unfortunately, look, you've got a revert here. You'd call yourself a revert. I'd say a convert who doesn't actually know anything about Islam.
Do you think that's true?
No, I do know a little bit, but obviously I'm still learning. I'm still learning.
Student.
So you're a student, but you're not allowed to leave Islam now.
What would happen if you left Islam?
What would happen if you left Islam?
Nothing.
So Muslims should be free to convert to Christianity.
A lot of them are. To be fair.
Should they be free to convert to Christianity?
If that's what they want to do, yeah, of course.
So Muhammad says they have to be killed.
Hold on.
Idolaters must be killed. Mate, if you want, I can teach you on Islam, so then you can undress like this and come back to our side and enjoy your freedom. Put you in, and
I made the choice to come to Islam.
But so if you don't think that was heavenly, like Allah has sent someone to marry a child and have sex with her when she was 9, is that perfect? Come on, bruv, is it perfect?
That one I have to go to no comment.
Yeah, have to go no comment. So your point is, you know it's not perfect. So what you've joined is you've joined. You're a Luton boy.
Yeah.
What school did you go to?
Ashcroft.
So you're from up Stopsley.
Yeah.
That's where I'm from. How old are you?
31.
31. See how the town's changed. See, the town's changed because you ain't got an identity, bruv. Because your identity, you're a young English man. You should be proud of who you are, not searching for this. And the reason that this is strong is because Islam has a strong sense of identity, and we've lost our identity, and we've lost our community, and Islam gives them this. Go to verse 424. Yeah?
He's got a verse.
424. And all the married women are forbidden except those
captives whom your right hand possesses. It is a degree of Allah for you, lawful to you are all beyond those mentioned, so that you seek them from your wealth and in honest wedlock, not debauchery. And those of whom you seek by marrying them, give to them. So all of them who are captive, this is the verse, there's 4 verses that tell Muslims clearly that outside of their 4 wives, they can take non-Muslim women, our daughters, as sexual slaves. That's why I have a problem. Bro, I embrace you.
Loud, holy.
Okay? Come back, man.
Okay, Tommy, question for you. Let's say you have a Bible verse that says, stone the gays or something like that, Sodom and Gomorrah. Would there be an argument to be had that you shouldn't?
The verse is stories put together. This is the exact word of Muhammad, and it must be taught. And there's no messing with this. This can't be changed. Muhammad was perfect. As I said, Muhammad was perfect. Was he perfect? Married a 6-year-old? No. Murdered. Do you know how he met his wife Sophia? No. Now look into it, bruv, because he beheaded her husband and he beheaded 600 of the tribe. And the night of beheading her husband, he married her.
And where's that information?
That is in Ibn Ishaq's biography of Muhammad. Again, the most recognised biography of Muhammad you'll ever get in the world, written by the biggest scholar in the world, Ibn Ishaq. And in there it says in black and white, the tribe, the Cayuba tribe, surrendered. He beheaded 600 of them in one day, and then that night he took Sophia as his wife. Now what Muslims say is he saved her from a life of rape, but he raped her that night, bruv. That's no perfect man. Anyway, I'll let you go.
Now, after having this chat, Tommy and I dipped as we were concerned the local gangs might pull up and jump us given who Tommy was.
But
one of the journalists trailing us stayed behind and asked this guy why he converted in the first place.
So basically the reasons were because my dad actually follows Tommy Robertson, and him hating Islam so much got me interested in Islam to find out why they hate Islam so much. Sorry. Yeah, Tommy's just turned up to the centre, bro.
Oh no.
Nah, he's just jumping in his car now, but he's made the video. Sorry. Yeah.
He doesn't know who he is, he doesn't know where he's come from. That is our entire next generation. Our entire next generation don't know who they are. They've been beaten down so much, abused so much, made to feel worthless, made to feel ashamed of who they are. Now when Muslims are telling us openly, the reason I'm doing this is because the book says this, we have to take them seriously and we have to look and explore what are the teachings of Islam? What does Muhammad say? Who is Muhammad? You see, when I started looking, he doesn't know anything. He doesn't know anything about Muhammad.
Put him on the spot, yeah.
We put him on the spot, but he doesn't know anything about Muhammad.
Sure.
Here he is to tell people to join Islam, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. This was pushed by my council.
Yeah.
My local council opened this. All my local leaders of the council come down and had a big photo, and when they've done that, I'll dig it up for you. Yeah. I researched into who was behind it and proved they're all terrorists. The leader of this, Yusuf Bonner, said that he will not rest until Islam is brought into every home in Luton. Well, guess what? I'm from Luton, and we don't want Islam in every home in Luton.
Okay.
This is our town.
We don't believe the objective is for them to conquer and pillage?
Well, no, they'll tell you the objective.
Now, Tommy.
Come on, because there'll be more. I told ya.
Yo, my name's Hassan.
Hey!
Hassan.
Luton represent!
In another 10 or 15 minutes, this road will be swarmed with Muslims.
You actually think so?
Oh, I know so.
And what is their objective? To defend the precepts of Islam?
Yeah,
to kill you?
They had to kill me, to stop any criticism of Islam, to stop someone showing someone like that what Islam is.
Well, what you did was basic media literacy. You pointed to some concepts, some verses.
You're not allowed to.
What do you mean you're not allowed to? Did they not read the book themselves, or did they say it's a non-literal interpretation of the works and you shouldn't take it?
You're not allowed to talk negatively, Muhammad, or they want to kill you. So straight over here to the left, bruv.
Got it.
Left. Yeah. So basically, this is the future of Great Britain.
Halal, cash and carry.
Well, no, just
Arabic.
Well, where are we?
Halal.
If you,
I would say we're in the Middle East.
This is my hometown. This is my hometown.
And was it always this way?
No, it wasn't, no.
So you grew up when this was a British town?
I grew up when there used to be a McDonald's there, and I used to come down here with my mum.
You used to have fish and chips here?
Used to have fish and chips. I grew up here, mate.
Okay.
This town, look, the whole town.
Fish and chips. Oi, bro.
The whole town's gone.
Have British people fled the town? Have they left? Have they said, I no longer belong here?
Left. Everyone in my generation has left. I haven't got a single friend left in this town out of my generation. Is deaf. You're not allowed to criticise. He's talking about, you can leave Islam. No, you can't. Leaving Islam is punishable by death.
What if he left?
Go right here. If he left, he'd be bullied, attacked. He can't leave. He knows he can't leave. Is that road we just drove down?
Yeah.
Walk through there, and that is a microcosm of the future of Great Britain. Yeah, it's Islamic. I'm just here to explain to you as an American, these centres are opened
in every one of our towns, and the purpose of these centres, which are funded by our local Labour councils, is to convert the town to Islam. So the local Labour political party, which is your Democrat party, are funding the conversion of the town into an Islamic ghetto like this. And what comes in an Islamic ghetto like this? Is it freedom? Are the women free? Can women walk down here at night? Could an English woman walk? What would happen? They come under attack. They'd be sexually harassed. So if he was an imam, you'd have got the real answer out of him. Yes, they want to kill homosexuals. Yes, they can't take non-Muslim women as sexual slaves. They're allowed to. That's halal. We're allowed to do that. That's another mosque.
Cockney Community Luton.
Madrasas. So they stopped going then to British schools. That's a school. So then their whole life, and there's interviews with
self-segregating.
There's interviews with Muslims here that I can show you online where they say, well, I left school and I've left school and I've never met a non-Muslim. So they haven't even met a non-Muslim. Yeah?
Here in Luton, in England.
Here in Luton.
Why even come here is my question. If their goal is to recreate where they...
To dominate the world.
Do you think the goal is truly world domination?
Islam splits the world into two, the House of War and the House of God. Yeah? We're the House of War until we're fully converted to Islam, and then we become the House of God. The identity and culture of it is very powerful, and it's changing the face of this country forever. And who's going to stop it? Because our politicians ain't. Are we going to just sit and play the lottery with Great Britain's future and our children's future? Let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens when Islam gets to 20%. No, let's not see, because we know what happens throughout the whole of history. In fact, they're actually taught at which percentage to start war. War's coming, whether we like it or not. We have 40,000 British Muslims on a terror watch list. 40,000. We only have 70,000 members in the armed forces.
Do you think the UK ends in civil war?
Inevitably, the whole of Europe will end in civil war. Civil war's coming. If there's even a war. If not, it's just going to be Islamic takeover.
Got it.
Here, mate. The Andrew Tates, all these people, they've placed their bets as well. They see that Islam's going to win. It's going to become dominant because Christianity's weak at the minute. But that isn't the reality. I see it the total opposite. I see a resurgence of Christianity. I see Hungary. I look at Poland. I look at the rise of the populist right across Europe. There is only one solution to what's happening now, and that is resistance. Terrorist attack, jihad attack, stopped. If we didn't have the security services we had, there would have been a terrorist attack every month for the last year. Yeah? But we stopped them. So from aeroplanes, nightclubs, shopping malls, Christmas markets, we're at war. The public just don't realise it. 3,000 Muslims are on 24-hour day surveillance, 7 days a week at a cost of £9 billion a year. Why? Get rid of them. I'd be like, go on down the road, you fuck.
If you want to support our boots on the ground, independent journalism that is not bought and paid for by corporate interests, along with exclusive DLC content that YouTube won't let me upload, and uncensored early access to all my videos before they go up on YouTube, go subscribe at patreon.com/Tyler Oliveira for less than $5 a month. The average person is not willing to go to war to even say any of these things mentioning Muhammad.
I'm not saying go to war, yeah? What I'm saying is we have to understand what we're looking at and what do we want the future of Great Britain to look like. So I don't believe the political system can solve it. I believe we need a cultural revolution and a cultural movement. A cultural movement that celebrates identity, that combines and unites and brings everyone together. When I say everyone, every other section of minority group that's come to this country have embraced it and loved it, yeah? And we are at a pivotal point in Great Britain. A revolution is brewing, I'm telling you. Yeah, I have my finger on the pulse, so we've shifted the open window on that. Where's the open window currently now? People are starting to talk about remigration. People are starting to talk about mass deportations. Donald Trump is going to shift the open window for the whole of Europe when he gets in power.
Donald Trump is not doing
Western
that.
civilization. Western civilization is imploding. It's disappearing.
Heard it here first.
The identity, everything is going. I don't think people really understand. We've had people sent to jail for shouting at a police dog, for saying you're not English anymore, for waving an England flag, given prison for non-violent crime, sharing a meme on Facebook, you get 6 months in prison.
Crying in front of an abortion center.
I faced 4 years in prison for making a film. We have no freedom, man, and the problem is they've always hid it. So they pretend with this facade. So the totalitarian state puts out that it's fair justice. There's no justice system. It's a legal system, and when they put a target on you, they're coming for you.
Tommy, do you think they're going to kill you?
Do I think they're going to kill me?
I think he's American. He ain't got no free speech.
And I think that it would solve a lot of their problems because they've managed to instill fear in the public. And what we managed to do is show that we're not afraid. Everyone's converting to Islam. Everyone's searching for this other identity. White children are pretending.
I just see Steve Harvey. Hey, no way. I refuse to believe that picture was real.
Everyone's converting to Islam. everyone's searching for this other identity. White children are pretending to be black or talking like they're black. There's a big, massive cultural problem in the UK.
In 2021, for the first time ever, less than half of the population in the UK was Christian, down roughly 13% since 2011. In contrast, the Muslim population in the UK is only about 6.7% as of 2021, but it's grown 44% in that same 10-year period due to a combination of increased immigration and higher birth rates. In 2017, the Pew Research Center projected the Muslim population in the UK to reach 9.7% of the population in the year 2050 under a zero migration scenario, or to 17.2% of the population under a high migration scenario. This is almost a tripling of where it is now, but that would still make the population less than both Christians and atheists, unless Christians secularize rapidly over the next few decades. But ultimately, no one has a crystal ball right now to accurately predict migration patterns and birth rates in the next few decades. However, Tommy is concerned at the current trajectory of both of these things and what he believes to be the installment of Sharia law once communities become Muslim dominated and win the political majority. But right now, Tommy has bigger problems to deal with. Where are we headed right now?
We're heading to Folkestone. I've got on to about 3 o'clock. I expect to get there, be detained, and I'm gone.
Charges for?
Get there, be detained.
I didn't let them in my phone, and I believe I'll be gone for a couple of years.
Okay, I hope that does not happen. And after driving to the police station, Tommy was now turning himself in ahead of his court date, charged under the Terrorism Act for refusing to give his phone password to the police under Schedule 7 of the Terrorism Act, the UK's equivalent of the Patriot Act. And he's currently facing a possible jail sentence over contempt of court claims after allegedly not showing up to a court hearing and fleeing the country upon being released on bail after allegedly breaching a court order to not air a film in Trafalgar Square, where the High Court ruled he had repeated libelous allegations against a Syrian refugee after Tommy failed to convince the High Court that the refugee violently assaulted a young girl. Tommy made an entire documentary with nearly 58 million views on Twitter to prove his innocence, but he ultimately lost the legal battle. Now he's turning himself in to face what he believes to be a biased, corrupt judicial system that previously rejected the testimony of children who testified in support of Tommy's claims, alleging they were assaulted by the Syrian refugee. Yet during that court case, the judge ruled that these girls were lying.
The neighbour had shared it, and then I saw on the Yorkshire Live them making Bailey out to be really horrible and that Jamal was a poor little victim, and it wound me up. So I commented on it. The victim wasn't a victim. He hit me in the back with a hockey stick. And then within the space of 2 hours, I had about 250 comments saying that I was lying.
Public, what do you think?
He's a messiah.
He's a messiah?
I like that. How are you, man? You good?
Where's Amir?
What are you being persecuted for right now?
Telling the truth and showing the public the truth of journalism. Journalism's dead. There is no... Let's go speak to journalists. Come on, come on, you're all journalists. Who are you journalists for? You? Mate, who are you journalists? Press stations. Who are you a journalist for?
That dude's kind of dripped out.
PA. So, have you watched my film?
I'm not.
Have you watched my film? You're a journalist. What are you for? So, have you watched my film? Look at this. Look, this is the problem. Totally controlled. Have any of you...
Can you guys say anything?
Have you watched my film? Have any of you watched the film?
He's speaking to the mutes in VR chat.
Do you know what I mean? Look, this is the problem.
They say anything.
None of them will ever report the truth.
Will they end up like you if they say anything?
This is totally controlled media. I've done what you should be doing, yeah? I've filled your gap because you're all fucking failures. So all I've done is report the truth. I am being tried for giving facts to the public. Not tried, I'm going to go jail for giving facts. And whilst I do that, you'll all jump in on their side and you'll condemn me. You'll print their lies. Just watch the film.
How do you think this media will handle you after you go into jail?
They'll all just lie.
He's talking about them right in front.
About Syrian child does this. They'll all just lie. All of them will lie. That's why you're
talking about them like they're not there.
All right, Tommy, fight the good fight. Don't die in there.
Enjoy tomorrow.
You know you have to do, brother.
You know when you're there tomorrow, just stand in, take it in, and think that a resistance has grown, man, and how far we've come, and that they can't put the fire out.
Tommy, be safe, be smart.
I will, man. See you later.
Hey, you may disagree with Tommy, but come on, freedom of speech. Don't let that die with him. As Tommy turns himself
this is the UK, brother.
To see if he'll go to
the UK, bro.
Of court allegations for what he believes is, in reality, a punishment given to him for exposing the current government and coordinated media's corruption and lies. Before we learn what happens to him, we first need to go to the Unite the Kingdom rally Tommy has spent the last few months planning to see what the public thinks of Tommy's charges and the current state of England.
Tommy! Is this guy the UK Donald Trump? Holy. British Trump.
But expect for a fact there will be counter-protests that will arrive here. Anti-racism, anti-fascism, every organization against what they deem for this group to stand for. Talk to the public. What are they thinking? The patriotism is off the charts right now. What does this mean right here? The rap of Britain. Talk to me.
Exactly what's going on in the UK at the moment.
Who is rapping Britain right now?
Well, we've made the two-tier governments. The corrupt fucking governments are rapping this country.
Is there any hope for Britain?
If they let Tommy out, we might. If we get a bit of reform, we might. But if Keir Starmer, Conservative, this country is
Talk to me.
Fucking Amazon, odds me. Listen, he tells the truth. All it is, right? See, Tommy, why are you going to get arrested?
Yeah.
You tell me.
What do you think?
You tell me. What are you arrested for? Yeah. Try to call.
The sheer quantity of stewards. Think they'll let him out.
I'm not sure. They have to, innit?
I say they'll have to.
They have to, innit?
Is there concern for civil war here?
Oh, yeah.
Possibility?
If this carries on, yes.
Do we have concern?
Yes!
There you go.
Especially for our children as well.
The patriotism is strong. What are you thinking?
Just outraged about what's going on in this country at the minute. Because our country's falling apart.
What future are you fighting for?
For our kids,
What is this guy wearing?
The kids and our ancestors. What our ancestors built over hundreds of years is now being crumbled.
Well, the communists, mate, that's the communists over there. Them people over there are destroying our country at the end of the day. They're letting these people come into our country illegally, yeah? We don't know who they are, and they're raping our children and raping our women.
After getting a taste of the nationalist pride and frustration at Tommy's rally, I went to the Stand Up to Racism counter-protest to see what they were thinking. All right, would you like to share?
Sure, do you
All right.
while you're here? There's Nazis and motherfuckers! Okay, there you go. Show him your sign.
F off Nazis. F off Nazis. Yeah. All right, would you like to elaborate?
I mean, I think he summed it up, really. Nazis. Anti-Tommy Robinson, anti-division, pro-Palestine. So why are you here, Roshi? What do you feel about Tommy Robinson? I want to eat him. He is a big bucket. La la la.
Oh my
He
God.
wants to eat him because he's a big fat dick.
Their argument would be we're the working class.
What? Hello?
Where we see the problems.
Hello?
You guys say we're racist when we point them out.
I think there is some truth in that we're in a society where it's very difficult to point out things that people are unhappy with if it doesn't go with what is accepted.
What specifically are you concerned with in terms of harm? People damaging like mosques and that sort of thing?
Hate speech breeds actions of hate, right?
So to be fair though, this says fuck off Nazis. Do you think there's a bit of a double standard at play?
Well, they wouldn't consider themselves Nazis, but there are definitely similarities in the things they're saying and the ways that some of them behave.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it's okay to be angry and to feel impassioned as long as you're not like smashing people's mosques or beating people up.
I saw your sign, smash fascism.
In my long life, I've seen times when people get attacked, no reason other than the colour of their skin or they're Jewish, they could be anything. A lot of racism exists. I've had some of it myself growing up, and it seems to be getting worse again. As a people, as humanity, we've only got one world.
It's not about they shouldn't get a life, and Amnesty International say they want to welcome all refugees, but they also think housing is a human right. How does that work? How are you going to do that? How are you going to welcome everyone in, yet also at the same time build infinite houses? It makes no sense. It's a utopia that's not going to exist. We have to look at the facts of life, the reality of life, the harsh reality of life, and it is unfortunate the world is in this place at the moment, but we have to put ourselves first, and I think it's as simple as that.
Do you think the English people are being deprioritized over foreigners coming in and economic migrants and asylum seekers?
I think in an ideal world we would do both, but at the moment definitely the general public do feel that over the last 25 years at least our living standards have been pressed down and down and down, and then when we have social media that shows us right in our faces the migrants documenting their own journey across the channel saying we're going to go there, we're going to get a hotel, and then you see it, then you see them be in a hotel, and it's like, well, what about 84-year-old Doris who's lived here all her life and she hasn't got a home to live in? Shouldn't we be spending all the money on them?
And I'm seeing what's happening to the UK, and they're just a microcosm really of what's going to happen in the United States. They're ahead of us because their population's smaller. They aren't able to take this flood of illegal immigrants that's coming into their country. Their government's suppressing their right to their free speech. And I have a personal friend, Tommy Robinson, who I know that you know, and this is just it's par for the course with how they treat Tommy, because Tommy is probably the most outspoken British citizen that they have. So any chance they get to silence him and keep him quiet, is a great opportunity for them. So I'm here to support not only him, but the great British people that I've come to know and love.
They're going through so many countries before they get to ours, and then they're coming over, they're getting all the hotels, mobile phones, weekly allowance, 3 meals a day. Like, all our taxpayer money is going to them, 20 million daily. It's just going up and up and up. And also, like, the pressure of the government. You said about free speech. Free speech doesn't exist. People are posting stuff on Facebook and they're getting put in prison. There's millions and millions of people that don't even know about this event. Like, it's been suppressed.
I had to search multiple times on Twitter just to find the details.
It's borderline very suppressed at the minute. Almost like North Korea, I would like to say.
The government are doing us over.
Separating us all.
Separating all black, white, whatever colour you want. You know,
at war with each other, and we shouldn't be.
Your primary concerns right now?
Free speech.
The lot. We need Britain back.
You know, you say certain things in this country on YouTube or other channels, like my channel, you'll be banned. If we continue down the line that our politicians wish to go, we will lose freedom of speech, we'll lose the dignity of the family, and we'll lose many of the values that my father, my grandfather fought in 2 world wars to keep.
What are your thoughts on Tommy Robinson, him turning himself into the police, terrorism charges?
Yeah, handing himself in. Basically, he went to the police station because they were asking him a terrorism act on
his phone.
So if he's got like sensitive data on his phone that is to do with corrupt police and stuff like that, why would he give the PIN number to the policeman to get all the data, to go behind the back and do dodgy stuff? So
the man's give up so much to make us aware of what's actually going on in the world. For years we've been blind in this country, believing the likes of Sky News and BBC. At the end of the day, they're being paid by the government to, do you know what I mean, say what the government want them to put out there, to make us believe these lies. If it weren't for Tommy, we would know nothing.
Tommy Robinson is one of the few true patriots we have in this country. Every so many generations we need patriots. He is our patriot. This is what they're afraid of. We want Tommy out! We want Tommy out! We want Tommy out!
It seems like he's achieved true martyr status right now.
Tommy Robinson! I think he's Islamophobic, he's a racist, he's a fascist, and this country has no place for him.
Do you think all of them are fascists, or some of them are concerned patriots and people just disenfranchised?
No, the people have a right to their opinion. I think refugees should be seen as an asset to this country. No one is illegal until such time as they're processed, and it's welcomed here.
I haven't felt right all day because this is the first time I've ever demonstrated without Tommy being there. So it's a little bit funny, but yeah, let's get it done.
What's the update on Tommy right now?
But the update on Tommy, I spoke to his lawyers yesterday. They told me that he's in good mental health. He was prepared for it. He had a conversation with us when we were at Nando's the other day as well. He's ready for the sentence. On that half, he's okay. I've been liaising with his family. Obviously, they're going through their troubles at the moment with everything that's going on. But all we can do is just support him. So when we get in court then, the judge will decide his outcome. So we just turn up then, we support him.
Are you happy or upset he's in jail?
Very happy.
Yeah.
It's the least that he deserves after he incited literal race riots over the summer while in his 5-star hotel. And then he comes back to the UK.
I just want to connect
nothing.
the dots on her face.
Do you think he is a net positive or negative to
like
the British public?
A huge negative to the British public. He does nothing but cause division and grief for us.
Okay, besides him, what is your primary focus and reason you came out here today?
I feel like it's my basic duty as a British citizen to say that I stand against racism, refugees are welcome here, and that no far-right group has any place in British society.
What are your thoughts on some of the people that may say that some of these people are economic migrants and they're exploiting the generosity of you, the taxpayer, let's say?
I think that everyone deserves a home, and I think that if their home is going to be in the UK, if that's the best outcome for them, then they're welcome here. It's disgraceful.
We're concerned for our children. You see the aftermath of Southport. My cousin died on the King's Cross bombings. What are we going to do? We're losing that safety net. It's frightening.
We're elevated. The sheer quantity of patriots out here is insane. Chanting, they're waiting to march. Look at these people out here. Look at that.
Tommy Robinson is a fascist, he is a Nazi, and the people on that side are a mixture of racists and fascists. I'm sorry, we're not going to come here and say there's no concerned citizens on that side. If you let those people win, they'll come here, take away all your rights. So we stand against them 100%. This is the side of the people.
He's an antagonistic force and he shouldn't be free in the UK.
Do you think the average person over there is just a concerned citizen, or are they like a racist? What do you think?
I think most of them on that side are racist.
All racist. Some of them are fascists. This is Britain. This is where we want to be. Look on that side. All basically white men and women standing together, being racist together.
I notice you're black. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, they call me a sellout. Yeah, they call me Uncle Tom. No, I think it's more than race. I think this is about getting the country back. I think today it's more about the crime, the injustice in the tier 2 policing. So it's not just about race. I think it's more than that. It's deeper than that because they like to divide and conquer.
Who's trying to divide and conquer you guys?
The high up, the elites.
And you're here today proudly because?
The globalists.
Globalists?
I think it all goes back to the same thing. So the far right, the struggle against bodily autonomy, for a free Palestine, against austerity. Every issue that we can point to will come back to a far right rhetoric. It comes back. It's the ultimate weapon of capitalism, and it's lashing out against us. It happens every time there's an unstable economy, which we're seeing after COVID.
Okay.
This isn't a surprise. We've seen this before. We will always fight back against it. But I think it's a disproportional representation of what the actual problem is. Your enemy is not the migrant next to you. The enemy is the ruling class and capitalism.
Okay, I think even that side would agree, by the way.
This is not a culture war. This is a class war.
Got it.
We're still seeing these major austerity cuts. We're still seeing attacks on trans people. This is growing and feeding and stoking the culture war to keep us away from the class war, because we have so much more in common with each other as working class people than we ever will for the ruling class.
Jamaicans, Africans, Indians, Sikhs, Hindus, British, we're all together. It's the government that have tried to keep us apart.
Yeah, I'm not racist. There's one race that's a human race. There is all different people here today. People come here to be safe. Well, they're clearly at 2-tier. Yeah, there's one rule for us and one rule for the other. We have more right. When you talk about Britain don't have a history or a heritage, look at every invention from the fucking suit to the fucking game of football. Where's it come from? Comes from here. What's the most used globally language? England. We are fed up. They will come for you, your family. I've had it myself.
What did you do? What did they say you did?
They bugged me like a terrorist. I am. No, I can't. It's how I am. I've got a loud voice. It's me. Elite! All of us! That man will never have another Christmas for what? For saying he's worried about our fucking country. Are you mad? Are you fucking stupid?
Let all the refugees in, let all the asylum seekers in, because we caused the wars. We were.
That lady was not happy with her screaming.
Look after them like we deserve to. The ruling class used the fascists and the racists on the street to gain parliamentary support so that they can be in power. And we got to watch that, because they use racism to divide the working class because they're scared of the power that we have.
I've spoken to some people on the other side. They've used the term Islamization of society. What are your thoughts on that? That makes you pissed off. I can already see.
It's just an absolute racist term.
And what specifically concerns you about Islam?
The Prophet Muhammad being a from the off. That's enough for me. And there's other things in, but that's enough for me.
If we are bombing people out of their countries and they are coming here, we're saying that's Islam, whatever you want to call it. I think that's ridiculous. You cannot bomb somebody out of their home and country, give them no other option, force them to flee, and then say, oh, we have an influx of refugees here. That's an absolutely absurd proposition.
I know that Britain is responsible for many of the reasons why migrants are having to move and they're trying to come to this country. Britain is the world's second largest arms dealer. We start wars around the world. We and other countries are major drivers of climate change, another reason why refugees are moving. So I'm here really out of empathy with refugees and migrants.
Thoughts are, you seem little untrustworthy.
Why is that? Just
news in general, like.
All right, I'm a guy with the YouTube channel.
Right.
All right, can I see what this is? The Socialist Workers' Party?
Who represents? Trying to pull people away from the far right.
Okay.
Trying to mobilise the side against Tommy Robinson.
We're protesting against the fascists that are in Parliament Square.
Tell me how they're fascists. Can you explain? Impartial observer, what's going on?
I don't really want to talk to him.
Why is that?
Because I don't want to talk to the president.
Why?
Because I have no reason, and you should stop interviewing.
They say they're just patriots, they're not far right. What does the far right mean?
They're a form of patriotism. It's nationalism. Tommy Robinson is a Nazi, and they're supporting him.
Okay. How do you feel that a large majority of this crowd has been labeled far right, whatever
Tough
that means?
crowd.
I think the far right is a very small portion, you know.
Because they just want to call us far right, and if you look around here, there's a mixed ethnicity, there's mixed religions. I was brought up Jewish. You'll see Israeli flags.
I think that everyone's a spy.
Media hypocrisy and
Trying to twist their words.
Right? Has it just become basically a slur for conservatives or what?
Well, anyone's far right. So Brexit happened 2016. You're far right. So that makes 52% of the population far right to some, which is crazy. And if you want to control the borders, just control, you'll be far right.
They're ready to move. The police are in front of us, and the counter-protesters are there inevitably.
We're here. We're going to start moving.
All right.
Get ready for the demonstration of your life.
All right.
America, you've seen go yet. Let's get going.
All right. The patriotism surges through his blood.
Tommy Robinson! Free! Tommy!
All right, we're moving. All right. The question is, will people get arrested today and for what? Tommy has officially achieved martyr status through his recent arrest. The people are here chanting his name.
Dude, okay, he's doing too much. He's doing too much.
All right, the handstand was not worth it. Hey, I noticed your suit. What are you thinking? How you doing? There he is! Hey! How you doing? Why are you here?
I'm here to support Tommy, obviously.
We just saw you in Germany doing a Pegida rally, and now you're here.
Exactly. Now I'm here because we have to support each other. We have to stand together for the freedom of speech, for the freedom of the people who speak the truth, like Tommy Robinson.
Who else is next is my question.
I've got no idea who's going to be next. Maybe me.
When the extreme right wing calls them out on the street to burn mosques and to burn hotels housing refugees, that is a fascist call, and so many people follow it. That's what worries me.
Some of them trying to burn down hotels where asylum seekers were being held, intimidating people, trying to burn down
that's
mosques.
weird.
Sure.
I thought that was shocking.
I know Tommy Robinson himself has said that, remain peaceful. Do you think he's still responsible for a lot of this inflammation?
Same with Nigel Farage. It's a nudge, nudge, wink, wink. They won't quite say it, but their supporters know what they mean.
And we want to make sure we don't have another outbreak of racist rioting. Fascists now sitting in parliaments in Germany and France, and we want to make sure that we don't see any sort of development like that here. We have to say to people, whatever your frustrations, marching with Nazis like Tommy Robinson is no solution.
Do you think they're all Nazis?
Yes, there are Nazis over there. Yes.
Do you think they're all Nazis?
No, I don't think they're all Nazis.
Some of them are definitely Nazis, though?
Some of them definitely, yeah. The hardcore, yeah. Tommy Robinson's a Nazi. People closest to him are Nazis, yeah.
Okay. And is there free speech in Great Britain 2024?
Well, when they talk about free speech, what they mean is the ability to be openly racist and get away without challenge.
We don't want division. This protest or march, whatever you call it, is peaceful because we want to tell people we love our country.
Yeah, it is peaceful. Yeah. It is a peaceful out here. And this is what we want for Tommy, because otherwise he'll just look bad on him.
You know, that's one of the things that's really, the government lies and says that Tommy Robinson...
Well, at least they're smart protesters, not like over here.
These rallies and these demonstrations, you can see that his own people, his own security removed someone who was causing problems. So when Tommy Robinson's involved in a demonstration or his people are involved, it's always a peaceful demonstration.
Peace seems to be the #1 priority. Peaceful protest, that is. And then, ironically, as I did an interview for these dudes at the anti-racism rally, I had a squadron of self-proclaimed anti-fascists who were not happy to see me. Cheers. Cheers. Thank you very much. That's me. I knew you were going to say that. Cheers.
Your video on shooting immigrants was genuinely that.
What are you opposed to in the sense of him sharing that is the law now? What do you think? Okay, chill. It's good. It's good. All right, it's good. Hey, I'm not all right. I'm not all right. All right, I'll walk away. Let me walk away. Huh?
Whoa. Oh, it's time to go.
Why do I have to turn off? Where's my freedom of speech? What have I done? Is this not fascism? My own demo? For what did I do? Wrong side of what? Having a conversation? This is fascism right behind it.
Buddy, you're tripping.
Get the fuck off of me. Fuck yourself. He's grabbed me by the neck.
Fuck yourself.
I didn't do anything. My existence is... What did I do? What did I do? I didn't support anything.
Let's watch the other side.
All right. Yeah, of course. All right. That is fascism right there.
Bye.
I didn't do anything.
Yeah, goodbye.
All right.
I actually did nothing.
Policing what you just witnessed as the anti-fascist attacked me in the most fascist way imaginable.
They're literally touching him. The police are like,
their two-tiered policing accusations,
you're the problem, sir.
kicking me out and not the masked aggressors. You might be wondering, if that happened to me, what's going to happen to Tommy?
Tommy Robinson has been jailed for 18 months. The 41-year-old activist appeared at South London's Woolwich Crown Court on Monday after failing to appear at a previous contempt hearing for repeating false allegations against a Syrian refugee. He told Robinson that nobody is above the law. A non-custodial sentence cannot be justified, confirmed the judge, before handing down the 18-month sentence. Robinson's comments came despite a 2021 High Court order being in place banning the activist from repeating the allegations against the refugee who sued him. Police confirmed he'd been arrested on one count of failing to provide the PIN to his mobile phone under Schedule 7 of the Terrorism Act 2000. However, the appearance on Monday came in relation to a separate warrant issued by a High Court judge earlier this year. Robinson is said to have repeated allegations against the refugee after airing a film at a protest in Trafalgar Square. The activist, who has 1 million followers on Twitter, had previously been successfully sued for libel by the refugee. Those who commit contempt in a court of law can face up to 2 years in jail, a fine, or in some instances, both.
But did Tommy and all of the witnesses that testified in support of what he said actually lie? Or did the judge just refuse to acknowledge the uncomfortable truths and the media corruption they revealed?
Why would this girl lie, randomly lie, before I was involved? Why would she then travel to the High Court of London and commit perjury? Because that is what the judge has found, that she's made it all up.
Why? For what reason? Why would the staff lie? Why would the head teacher lie? Why would every single person who was recorded covertly lie about what Jamal was like? 12 different people lying about what Jamal was like. Why? You see, the judge has really helped us out here. The judge says people can lie for reasons that make no sense. Sometimes for no reason at all. He concludes the alleged assaults, they never happened at all.
Yaxi Lennon's lawyer said that at all times he was following his principles. He passionately believes in free speech, she said, freedom of the press, and his overwhelming desire is to expose the truth. He believes the public has the right to have all the truth, not just what's provided by the mainstream media.
So if I'm in jail, buy my books, catch up on my story. I'm probably doing press-ups, I'm quite excited, I'm going to come out in the best shape of my life. It's not all bad, all right? I'm reading your mail, thank you, I appreciate your support, I appreciate your support you're showing my family. This is temporary, right? And the fight continues upon my release. I send in my love.
Nobody is above the law. 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 Nobody is above the law.
Oh, Saturday.
Let's see.